I always love a good cup of coffee, but it's even better when you know that your morning beverage could change someone else's life. In this episode, I will be visiting the ministry of Inman Coffee, which for 10 years have been serving great coffee with extra shots of hope. Thank you so much for having us here today, and I believe this conversation is a long overdue conversation. I really want to know a little bit of the history of this place. What happened, how everything came about.
Yeah, there's 350 churches in Cleveland. It didn't need another church, but it certainly needed a relational expression of Christ. I began to pray about it, began to reach out to my bell ringers from the season, said, hey, I'm going to do a Bible study on Monday nights in the family store. And then shortly after that is I just thought, okay, what's this look like? What is this going to look like in Cleveland? And then when we found this building, this portion was already here, very little renovation in here. Mm-hmm. And we had an area commander that said, I love the concept, let's do it.
Here's the thing, coffee is a way to start a conversation. I've never had a cup of coffee that wasn't attached to conversation somehow. For me, it was a natural transition. The goal has always been relational ministry and seeing a need with young people, not just in Cleveland, but just in general. Young people don't have places that they're connecting well, that they're diving deep, that they're building good, solid relationships. And so we wanted to be a space for that. And coffee is that open door. It's the hospitality at the kitchen table. It's inviting someone to your table is powerful. That's why Jesus did it. We have baristas who are trained as ministry leaders. So when people come in and they're starting to unload all of their problems just like they do in other settings, the difference is we're helping to navigate them towards Christ, and just being a safe place for that. So why not coffee?
Now in the local market now, I understand we have the coffee as a product, like the bag of coffee.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that? Like, what's our vision with that?
The cup of coffee, just selling a cup of coffee, that's not going to support the ministry here, but selling our bulk coffee in bags of coffee will help us achieve that goal to where we, can be more self-sustaining. And so we have a local grocery store that has given us display there. Grocery store shelving is hard to get. We have 6 dispensers in the middle coffee aisle with our coffee product. We also have 6 Ace Hardware, Elders Ace Hardware, 6 around the region that are now selling our coffees and doing really well there, and then have some bigger presentations to do in the fall for even a much larger grocery store chain. So God is beginning to open those doors because He provides. So He's given us the road out to be able to find better ways to find the revenue to do that.
One of the things that we share with our youth program with the coffee shop is we're senders, not savers. We're not trying to hold anything back. I want there to be people who are loosely impacted by this place in every corner of the globe. Right? If they have a passion, what can we do to help you with that? Right? We're not gonna try and hold you back or try and keep you here when God may be sending you to California to do missions, or to Cambodia to lead a ministry, or to Sunderland, England to start social work. Why would we hold you back? Like Melissa, who's now up in Sevierville, and it's that. We just want to keep doing that. That's why we're here. Lieutenant, I was just, having a conversation with Joel and Ruthie, and it was really cool because we were just talking about the ministry. But then I just learned that you came to the Salvation Army through the Inman Coffee ministry. Can you tell me a little bit of your experience and how that works? How was that for you? And what brought you here?
Yeah, so I was a college student at the time, and then I saw when I went to go buy coffee that there was a sign up for an open mic night, and I was like, this seems really cool. So I decided to just try it out, and went to that night, was not prepared. I was so nervous. I had never sung in front of people that was not church. And so I got up there and people loved it, won the open mic night, and then I found out, immediately afterwards, I found out that this coffee shop, it's part of the Salvation Army. And through all the donations that were given tonight, everything that was bought at the coffee shop, it sent kids to camp. Kids who, are underprivileged or, at risk. And so it sent kids to camp, and I was like, I need to know more about this. And that was my first little steps of involvement with the Salvation Army.
Now it comes full circle. Now you are in the front lines. Now you are in the front line of a corps, and you can see perhaps different aspects of the Salvation Army ministry. Coming from that background, knowing how important it is to outreach, how important it is to be creative, how do you think that impacted your current ministry, though?
And to be honest, it impacted every aspect of my ministry. I saw how compassionate people were. Like, they invested in me just from that one night. There was conversation of, oh, hey, you should come check this out. Hey, you should spend some time with us. We're doing this, and we like to, come and, so it was investment, right? And so even out here on the front lines, it's investment in relationships.
We had the conversation that we don't have an advertising budget that most businesses have. What can we do to get people in? And so I reached out to a band called the Mailboxes. And so we said, hey, could we have you come play at our grand opening? And so they did. And a ton of people came out. And so we said,
Like it filled this room.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. Music had been part of the conversation, but a side piece at most at that point. And so on grand opening night, when our place was full of their friends who had come to their show, we said, okay, so this is a thing. And we've had over 645 shows since. We have hosted over 1,500 bands and artists from literally around the globe.
Right.
Grammy winners, we had an Emmy winner. We've had, from that level, American Idol runner-up. Clark Beckham launched here. His first gig as a band was here. Yeah, so we've hosted music since day one, and it has just become a really powerful means of connection.
And then also, on a side, not to do with the music, but the coffee house, Major Smith was in Kentucky probably a couple of years ago, and they went to a state park there, and they were walking through the state park with this park ranger, younger guy, and began to just talk with him. And he goes, hey, you're from Cleveland, right? And Major's like, well, from Chattanooga, but yeah, Cleveland. And he goes, Inman Coffee. He goes, I went in there, I wandered in there. He goes, I was suicidal. I was seriously considering taking my life. And he goes, and I went in and I had a conversation with Joel. And he goes, it changed the course of my life. And out in the middle of nowhere is a park ranger who found his way, whatever, into the coffee house as a Lee University student, and in conversation made a shift in his direction. So the impact, and that's our heart, which will make me cry. But to have that life-changing impact that you can only get through those relationships and those conversations, and that's the meaningful that makes the hard worth it.
It was really amazing to get to share a day with Joel and Ruthie, and to talk to Lieutenant Melissa about this amazing ministry of Inman Coffee and the impact that it has brought to the community. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next episode of OthersTV.